Hi. In the previous class, I spoke about the straight line rule, and I said in the next video, you're going to be getting more understanding about how the sales line rule work. So the reason people does not close sales or does not get money for whatever services they deliver is because they don't understand how it works. They don't ask for the sale at the right time. They ask for it at the wrong time. Every prospect you talk to is standing on a straight line, and you don't know, and if you don't know where that person is or that prospect is on the straight line, you might either sound pushy or desperate. If you sell anything, either a product, either a real estate, either services, and even if it's idea, this is one rule you must understand. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. You must understand this rule. And this is not just for big businesses alone. Even if your businesses, you are just making 10,000 naira per month, you have to understand it. And it's called the straight line rules. And it explains why people close effortlessly without other people knowing how it works, or why others chasing it and all of it. It is a straight line rule. It is very, very important. So imagine a straight line from 1 to 10. 1 means no trust, no clarity, no emotional connection. 10 means that they are totally certain about what they want to get. There is emotional commitment, and buying becomes the obvious next step at this point. So from point 1 to point 10, every prospect you meet, every customer coming to your shop, every customer coming to your office at this point, either point 1 where there are no trust or point 10 where there are certainty. Sales is simply the process of moving this prospect from one of the points to the other point, which is from point 1 to point 10 where you close the deal. So as I said it is moving them, it is not dragging them. So most sales people treat every prospect the same. And that's where the problem is. They treat everybody that comes to them as though they are the same person. So the same pitch, the same pressure, the same closing line. And it is very, very bad, because a prospect at point 2 and a prospect at point 8 are not the same human being. Even if they are the same from the same tribe, they are not the same human being. At point 1 to 3, there is low trust, there is low area, there is no certainty about what you are doing. That's from point 1 to point 3. So let me give you an example concerning what this point 1 to 3 is. There's prospects that are in this point. So this is the prospects that just makes you, let's say they send you a message on Instagram or on WhatsApp, and they send you a message like, hello, I am interested. So like, I am interested in that your service, I'm interested in your product, I'm interested in what you do. That person is not ready to buy. They are at point 2, even if they are saying that they are interested. So if you reply them with, here is the price, pay now, you have already lost them, because they are just interested in your business. What they actually need at that particular point is comfort, is understanding, and it is authority. I'll repeat that again. They need comfort, understanding, and authority. So I'll give another example again. Let's say a customer walk in to your office or to your store and says, I am just looking. So you have a supermarket or an office, and the person entered and is telling you, I'm just looking. This is a point 1 prospect. If you jump into, this is our best package, this is the last price, this one is 5,000, this one is 15,000, and all of it, what you are trying to do to that prospect is that you are creating resistance. At that point, the prospect will start thinking you want to manipulate them, because they are just looking. So you are not selling at this particular point. What you want to do is to build trust for the prospect. Then there are point 4 to point 6. These people are interested but are uncertain, and this is where most deals die. So for the fact that someone is interested, they might not be certain about that product. So this prospect is curious. They are asking questions, they are engaging with you, and they want to understand how it works. So let me give an example. Consulting call. Let's say someone called you, and this they sound like, let's say you are telling them about what you are doing, your consulting and all of it, and they say, okay, this sounds good, but I will get back to you. This is not rejection. Because when people hear things like that, they feel it is rejection. They see value. They are still emotionally unsure at that point, which means they are certain, but they have not decided. So if you push too hard, they pull away. I don't know if you get it. So they pull away from it. So what you do instead is to ask deeper questions, clarify their pain, show consequence of inaction. So you have to understand that, okay, let me get why you want to call me back. Is there something that you need? And let me give a real estate example. I like this house, but I want to see other options. That's the 0.5 prospect. So they are already interested in what you get, and they are already certain. So you don't beg, you don't argue, you don't try to manipulate them or try to talk to them. You help them compare. So you start talking to them about the time, you start talking about the risk, you start talking to them about the cost of waiting. Because at that particular point, they are interested in your product, they are certain, but you don't need to force the decisions on them. You need to make sure they feel willingly that they are getting this by themselves. The next is 0.7, which is this is where close are separated from talkers. They are already at 0.7. This is where most professionals know how to close the deals. And I'll give you an example. They ask what your payment plan is. So when you see a prospect already asking what your payment plan is, can I start this month? They are not actually curious. They are already exhibiting what I would call a buying behavior. If you keep explaining to them about the product instead of you closing, what you are trying to do at that point is that you are confusing them. You are confusing them because they are already interested. They're asking you how your payment plan works. They're asking you, okay, can I start paying this month? What you need to do is to start going a follow-up message. They reply quickly. So when you see a prospect, you are doing a follow-up message and the prospect is replying quickly, the conversation is alive, they ask logical question. That is a 0.7 or 8 prospects. At this stage, it is your responsibility to ask for the sale. Timing in closing deal is very, very important, and you must be able to understand what particular point your prospect is on the straight line rule 1 to 10. 1 is they are not sure and 10 is certain. So when you try to close early, what you will do is that you will create pressure on the heart of the prospect. When you try to close too late, you create doubt. So they start thinking, why is he not closing the deals? So great salespeople close when the prospect is emotionally ready, not when they feel like closing, when they know that they are emotionally ready. I do say some things that people make buying decisions emotionally and justify it logically. So if someone is asking you about price too early, they don't lack money, they lack trust. And you must understand this. So they're asking for price too early. They don't lack money, they lack trust. So you need to start building them about it. Finally, your job as a salesperson is simple. You read the line, you move the prospect forward, you close at point 10. Point 10 is when you close. So when Saturday hits 10, buying feels natural. So you're no longer forcing the prospect, now becomes client automatically. So it is very, very important to know where your prospect is at every particular time. If this helps you understand why you lose sales, subscribe. And on this channel, I break down sales, I break down marketing, I break down understanding the psychology of how the business world, and I also make sure that I teach people how to become a better business people at whatever level. Because sales is not pressure, sales is precision, and you have to understand it. So finally, learn to know where your prospect is at the straight line road. Then individually present a pitch that suits them. So when your prospect is at point 1, the pitch that you are going to give to that salesperson or your prospect is different from the pitch you will prepare for the prospect at point 10. And this is why making your pitch or organizing your pitch is very important as a salesperson. Whatever says that you are, if you understand the kind of communication, the language, and you can identify very fast what level your prospect is on the straight line road, then the only thing is for you to just pull out the pitch that you need for that person. See you in the next video, and if you have any question, put it on the comment section.